Now look at this. I don't know whether it's in Ghana that they were arrested. What are they doing there? With computer in front of them? What are they doing? As if they work in a call center. They are at a call center where people will call in and they will have to answer. What are they doing? These young people here, what are they doing? This scamming that they are doing. You say, so tomorrow they will grow up with no trade, nothing, no education, no profession, and they will become a problem to the society.
You get people coming all the way from Chad, to Ghana. Now these guys coming with their norms, their traditions and norms. In some part of the world, in their part, maybe begging is normal to them. But in Ghana, begging is actually against the law.
So far, trying to bring all African countries together to make them just one country, it's not going to work.
Another thing is ritual killing. Some people think it's normal, but in other places it's not normal. And so when they come do it in Ghana, it becomes a problem. To an extent that some people even call prostitution a job. In Ghana, that's not a job.
There is lack of cohesion even in Nigeria. Look at the population in Nigeria, over 250 million. If we don't take care, we are going to be overwhelmed by these people and their culture. And where do we stand?
Welcome back to Rush Online, and again, welcome back to ACGH News. That's the Apex platform, the official site or the official channel of Apex. If you are new to the channel, please subscribe to the channel, like, and share the video, please, and leave your comments down below. Leave your comments, is very important. Let us know what you think about what we are discussing, and your contribution as well, And let me first of all give my audience, Mr. Santi and Mr. Ben, the opportunity to, introduce themselves and then say something to the viewers before we start the whole program. So, Mr. Santi, please, what do you have to tell our viewers before we start?
Okay. Mr. Raj, thank you for having me on the program. My name, as you said, is Santi. I'm a member of the Apex group. We are a group that is engaged in trying to actually look at things in our country and try to make some suggestions to the government, the public, and in fact, every Ghanaian to actually come to know what is good for our country. There are a whole lot of things that we see that is not actually in the right order or going well. So we will want to try as much as possible to bring solutions, suggestions to bear on the people, so that together we all change for the good of our country. So this is what I will say.
All right, thank you very much. And Uncle Ben.
Hi, Mr. Rash. As you said, I'm Ben, and my full name is Ben Amoa. I am also a member of Apex Citizens of Ghana, and like my brother said, Apex is an NGO set up to independently support policymakers and various public institutions with expertise in various fields as we build our capability to support these institutions, make Ghana a better place for Ghanaians and for friends of Ghana. Thank you, Rash.
All right, thank you very much. And like I said, if you are new, please subscribe. Before we start the program, please do well to subscribe to the channel, like, and leave your comments. Your comments are very important to us. Please leave your comments in the comment section, and maybe we will find some time and come and react to. Maybe we'll dedicate a program to answer some of your questions in the comment section. So it's that important to us. Okay, so first off, before we start or we dig deep into the issues of today, I would like to pick your views on some trending issues that's going on, and it has to do with a couple of Nigerians who were arrested here in Ghana for trafficking and stuff. And I would like to know your views on that before we start. We get into the main topics of the day. So please watch this for me.
Yo, video I did a video about Nigerians, and I said, anytime you allow a lot of Nigerians in your country is going to be fucked up. Now, me go back and forth comment section. See, me catch them say, I didn't know it was South Africa. No. South Africans are doing that because of Nigerians. Nigerians are fucking up their country. You guys think I'm lying? And I did a video and I said, Ghanaians need to wake up and start kicking out all the Nigerians from Ghana. This is the reason why Mutual video. I said, what I mean doesn't mean that Nigeria, they don't have good people. They have good people. But their population is a lot. So they have a lot of bad people and a lot of good people. So anytime you allow a lot of Nigerians in your country, they're going to fuck up the country. See, I'm saying this because I love my country, Ghana. And I don't want somebody to come from his country to come and fuck up my country. That's why I always say this. I say, don't allow Nigerians, especially Nigerians in your country. You can few, but not too much. See, if you see 7 Nigerians, only 1 is good, 6 is bad. I'm telling you. I've lived with them for a long time. I know how Nigerians are. Me see, if Ghana will allow Nigerians to come into the country too much, they're going to destroy our country. They're going to destroy our country. I know Nigerians. I say, this mobile money fraud, all the kind of fraud in Ghana right now, 95% are Nigerians doing that thing. I'm telling you by experience. I love my country, Ghana, and I don't want somebody from his country to come and destroy my country. That's why I always do this video. Look at the video upstairs. They go arrest a lot of Nigerians for scam. Yo, I said I want Ghana leaders to put out some number out there so that if we see a lot of Nigerians somewhere, like group of people, we're going to call you people to come arrest them. Even, you see, where they arrest these people is by my area. And that area is full of Nigerians over there. One person is going to come and rent your house. They're going to end up being like 25 of them in the house. They're not doing anything. Always it's laptop, laptop, laptop. So what are they doing? Scam. See, Ghana for sometimes no, I don't know. I tell mu ya mu se mu penipa chale. Sisi ariasim the way kono obia protected your own. Everybody is protecting his country. Even abrochi baby amu se na obia pami nkrofo so obia protecting the crew. So we don't have to make like say we want do African unite, we want chale. Africa can never be unite. Focus on Ghana, focus on your people. Forget about the Azan friendship to make like you love Nigeria. Massa, if you open the door for Nigerians in your country, they're going to fuck up your country. And then that one. See, omuye prepaid fraud. See, akraba could be about prepaid fraud. You see, omoma drino adibia, they will find ways and means to manipulate it. See, me see any fraud activity via because the top there is Nigeria there. I'm not gonna lie you. I know the game. I'm telling you people. Okay, Frimpong. Any deben wana more ya chichichi omo ina about scam ni nyoma ina. Muda munko munhwehwe mu na munhwese Nigeria ni ni ho. Abu trek amoni wana more ya chichichi omo ina. Muda munko hwe mu na munhwese Nigeria ni bi ni soro ho. They are the head. So Ghanaians and Ghana leaders, we don't need to allow Nigerians in our country. They can come, visit, have fun and go. But don't allow them. Don't allow Nigerians in Ghana. They will destroy our lovely country. Ghana will turn like Nigeria if we allow them over there. The robbery, the prostitution, the drug dealing, everything, majority of that thing are Nigerians. I'm saying that. Look, like 2 months ago, I did a video about that. And today, look at the video. How many they arrest them? All fraud. All fraud, Nigerians. You see? I always say this. I say, don't allow Nigerians in your country. It is what it is.
Yeah, I hope you guys saw what the guy was talking about.
Yes, I did.
Yeah, Mr. Ben, let me pick your views on it. Well, what do you think?
Well, it is what it is. What the person was, the frustration he was expressing is valid and justified, because this is not new. It's something that is been going on for God knows how long, and the fear here and the concern is the rate at which the numbers are going up every month and every week. These are the ones that the media houses have managed to report. There are more that we don't see in the public domain because the media hasn't been able to capture it. So everything he's saying is true. Knowing a problem and not doing anything about it becomes even the worst, because that then guarantees you of the foreseeable future, which is what the gentleman is worried about. If no action is taken, what is perceived to happen will happen. And when we get there, the cost of repair will be over and above what we can afford. And as a result, we are going to live in anarchy. Now, let me break it down. I think across Africa, there should be a system developed in place to manage migration. Ghana, I think we took too big a chunk of a bite that we have struggled to swallow, and yet we are still forcing ourselves to swallow. What do I mean by saying this? When we got our independence, we had a lot of resources in terms of finance, and we channeled all this towards African unity. Now that appear to have happened, but it's not complete. That is unachievable. We did not assess the risk involved in pursuing what we saw, but at least colonization was defeated. That's one of the achievements. But besides that, we still haven't achieved African unity. And if we are to unite, these are the problems that we should expect to face, where any society that's a bit developed, that's a bit advanced, will attract a lot of people. And when they come, they don't just come as to integrate into the existing culture. They come with their own culture, and unfortunately, they would like to impose that culture on them. Now, the culture we are seeing here is a culture of I have to make money by all means and as quick as possible. They don't care the impact of their quest on the society, on the environment they're in. Whether it's morally right, they don't care. All they want is the money. And when you ask them, they will tell you they're doing business. Scamming is a lucrative business for them. When we see it as a crime, they don't see it as a crime. They see it as a business, right? That is the cultural difference I'm talking about. When they come into a space and identify an opportunity to do robbery, they see that as a business, because if you will not um, uh, improve your security and you open your doors for them, they will come in and they will steal from you. I remember I saw a video where one Nigerian person was saying, "Oh, why is it that Ghanaians build houses and their walls are short? In my country, the walls are really tall." So they see that as an avenue for doing the business they are best, at doing. If your wall is short, we will jump over it and come and get whatever we want. The same way, prostitution, wherever there is increased prostitution, it goes with drugs, it goes with violence, and in every corner of Ghana today, they are there, and mm, almost all of them are Nigerians. So if we're building a society like this, the future is already known. It's going to be a future of destruction, just like it's happening around in some part of Nigeria. Ghana is very small, and this call is justified that the authorities should listen and do what is necessary to safeguard our nation. This is what I have to
All
say,
right.
Mr. Rash. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much. Thank you. Yeah, Mr. Santi.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Um,
please. What's your views on it?
okay. I will continue from where my my brother just left. What's happening in Ghana is rather unfortunate, and I wonder why we should come to this stage in, after 60 plus years of independence. The former American president, President Reagan, once said, and I quote, "A country without borders is no country." So at this point, what do we want to achieve? Are we, are leaders trying to make Ghana a borderless country, or um, a no man's land country? I explained last time during the other program that Ghana is not a no man's country. Ghana has an owner. When we come to Ghana,
Mm-hmm.
We have our tribes, we have their lands, we have our kings or our chiefs, as you like to call them, and we dwell on our land. And so, why do we have to open our borders so wide and allow people just to come in and do whatever they want and go out? Now, my brother was talking about African unity. It is good to be united, but united for what? And then how do you unite? Where do you begin? And what are your aims as a nation for your people, for the future of the youth? Now, let's take the European Union, for example. Let's consider certain aspects. European Union did not actually start just like that. The Maastricht Treaty that was signed, it was signed at a time when most of these countries have attained some kind of economic development. So before you can unite, you must make sure, take into account your economic situation, the social situation, and even culturally. We cannot, like Africans, we cannot come together like that. And so looking at the Maastricht Treaty or the European Union, they attained some level of economic development before they were able to come together. Even coming together does not mean you just forgo your cultural values, your social values, and everything. No, you protect them, you trade among yourselves, but you safeguard your sovereignty. Now they even have a law, the European Union. I'm still on the European Union. They even have a law that those who wants to join the EU, like these Eastern countries, they have to attain some kind of economic standard before they will be allowed to join. A country like Turkey, for example, I remember when I was in Italy, some of the opposition leaders, like the Lombard League, for example, they insisted that they will never allow Turkey to be part of the EU, even though Turkey is a NATO country, simply because they argue that Turkey forms something like a buffer zone between the West, between Europe and Asia. And so if they allow Turkey to be part of the EU, a lot of Asians, that is the Middle Easterners, are coming to flood Europe, and what they are going to get is this terrorism and so forth. And so Turkey, for several years, have actually tried to join the EU, and they have not admitted Turkey. And so Ghana, as a developing country, why do we have to jump so far trying to bring all African countries together to make them just one country? It's not going to work. There is lack of cohesion even in Nigeria. Look at the population in Nigeria, over 250 million. If we don't take care, we are going to be overwhelmed by these people and their culture. And where do we stand? So I don't actually understand our leaders, where they want to take Ghana to, or what is their aim, or what are they aiming at? What do they want to achieve with these policies that they are pursuing? It's very unpopular, and it's going to create problems for us. We have a whole lot of problems. We have not achieved any economic development in our country. Look at our infrastructure. Maybe we will talk about it. Look at our infrastructure. Even our educational system is kaput, if I'm allowed to use that word. It's not working. Our health system is not working. Look at our roads. The youths are without work. So how do you allow so many people, even Nigerian population, half of it, even a third of that population, we cannot even contain them in our country. Where will they live? So I will stop here, and then probably we'll continue. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much, Mr. Santi. It's very disturbing, but all we can do is to call the attention of the leaders, and it's their duty to do something about it. And we just hope they listen and do the needful. Now, let's dig.
Before you go on to the next thing, if I would like to add something.
Okay.
This
Then make it quick.
Tell me. Go on.
Yeah. Go on.
Yeah, this present government has offered a free passage or visa-free, has waived the visa requirements for Colombians and Moroccans. Why? What is the reason, or what was the reason for doing that? Moroccans, we know them here in Europe. I'm not saying that Moroccans, every Moroccan is bad. But if you give 1,000 Moroccans, 1,000 criminals who are Moroccans, just 100 of them combined with Nigerians and Colombians, Ghana will be destroyed. I'm telling you. And so why do we have to waive visa requirements for Colombians? What have you got? What is the trade agreement between these two countries? How do we benefit from Colombia? How do we benefit from Morocco? Well, Nigeria, let's say Nigeria is part of ECOWAS. What about Morocco? What about Colombia? What is the trade agreement, and how do we benefit from them that we should give them visa free to just come to Ghana? How many Ghanaians are living in Colombia? I don't understand it. You see, these are done just to facilitate drug trafficking. Moroccans will come to Ghana so easily. Nigerians can come to Ghana so easily. From there, they can easily get access to Colombia. And they are going to import drugs to Ghana. We don't have this, how do you call it? The measures, the security measures adequate in place to detect some of these things. Very soon, it will be very, very difficult for Ghanaians traveling to Europe, because Ghana is going to be a drug hub.
Yeah, just to add to what
when it comes to these Colombians and Mexicans, you have to be very careful as a country.
Yeah, I mean,
Uncle Ben, you wanted to chip in something?
Yeah. I was just gonna add to what has just been said regarding Ghana serving as a hub for drug trafficking and so on. This is not a conclusion that is coming out of just mere observation. If you look at the International Organized Crime Index, that collect data across the world and analyze the data and present a picture of what is happening in any particular country of interest. Ghana is flagging up as a potential hub or a potential destination for organized international criminals. And this is actually playing out to be very true, because recently there was some what is a shipment that ended up in Australia from Ghana, and the content were drugs. So it's something that authorities should be serious about. You can't just go into an agreement with any country without having a purpose. It should always start with a purpose. What is the goal? What is driving a decision like that? And then you look at the risk that you are exposing the country to. And if you don't have the facilities to either transfer the risk or deal with the risk, then you don't pursue that purpose and keep your country safe. But we have leaders in place who are not doing these, and if they are not proving the evidences. They are just making us doubt the competencies and the things they're signing up to are potentially dangerous for the country.
Let's get into the main topic of the day. Yeah. First of all, are you satisfied with the work of the immigration, the Ghana immigration, and do you think the Ghana immigration are kind of like updating their day-to-day activities when it comes to the screening of immigrants, like foreigners, and also if you think they are managing the borders, the movements when it comes to the borders very well, as to your views? What do you think? Do you think they are kind of like doing their job as they are supposed to?
Well, I don't know whether your part you having a problem with your line. If I'll take that question, if the immigration officials are doing their job, we won't be seeing. It's very simple. If the immigration officials are doing their job very well, we won't be seeing what we are seeing in Ghana at the moment. That a whole lot of people, Accra is flooded with beggars on our streets. Our cities are choked with prostitutes from Nigeria, those who are involved in scamming and all that. If they are doing their job well, I don't think these things we will be seeing it on daily basis. How come that car will just come from Niger full of these Fulanis and other people, and they will end up on our streets begging? Begging is against the law in Ghana. If a citizen, a Ghanaian citizen, begs, he could be prosecuted. And so, why prosecute a Ghanaian for begging, but allow a foreigner to come in to beg? And then, when we look at prostitution, for example, I watched a video where somebody, a young Ghanaian, was saying even before Jesus Christ, there was prostitution. Well, I don't think he actually was, how will I frame it? How will I put it? He was thinking far. When before Jesus Christ was born, there was nothing like AIDS. But now there is AIDS. And so saying that or coming out to make such pronouncements, is it actually taking his health into consideration? Why do we allow so much prostitution on our streets? We cannot completely eliminate them. I'm not saying Ghanaian, we don't have Ghanaians who are into prostitution. Yes, we have it. But do we have enough resources to cure them when they are diagnosed with STDs and AIDS and all that? And then you look at them and you see that they are between ages of 13 and maximum 25 years. A child, a girl who is 13 years old is supposed to be at school. And so why should our immigration officers encourage girls like that to travel, to come to our country, to engage in such things? They should be in their country learning trade or going to school. So in a way, we are actually
In the
aiding
first
people.
place, what I keep wondering is how are they even able to cross the borders, knowing very well these people are not qualified to even or don't even have the necessary documents to even enter the country in the first place. But yes, still they find their way through.
This is why I'm saying the immigrations are not doing their work well. You say they are not doing what they are supposed to do. Like, well, Europe here is an advanced country. Even before you go in for a visa, your voice is recorded. Your fingerprints are taken. And when you get to the border, they scan you, they scan your picture, they know wherever you are going or where you live. But what do we see in Ghana? Everybody just come in, just like it's like a house fly who just enter a room and then goes around and then go through the window and come in at will. This is what is going on in our country. It's very bad. If we allow this thing to continue, the social system in Ghana will completely collapse. The economic system that we are trying to build, the so-called 24-hour economy that Mahama campaigned on, if ever he is going to implement that, God knows when, that is going to collapse. You see, and culturally, everything is going to collapse. Because you have all these people who are coming into our country, these young girls and young boys without education, and they are coming to be a social a cancer for the country in future. They will grow up with no trade, no education. All what they know is to stand on the street, learn, go through hard life, and learn things the hard way. And so they become so aggressive, and they are going to engage in criminal activities. They will grow up, have their children, and they think what they went through is the same thing their children will also go through. How do we build a nation like this, Mr. Rash? How do we build a nation like this? The very fundamentals of our country is being destroyed, and this is aided by our leaders. It's our leaders who are aiding this, the destruction of our country. Thank you.
So yeah, I mean, with regards to whether the our immigration officers or immigration institution is working well, I would I wouldn't completely say they're not doing anything. They are probably doing something. It's just that what they're doing is sorry, what they're doing might be very little compared to the workload that is coming their way. The pressure on the immigration institution might be over and above what they can handle. And as a result, even if they're doing anything good, it won't come out as good because it will be nothing. It will amount to nothing, right? What I think should happen is we have signed up to international policies that allow free movements of people uh, in and out of our country. So when they are coming, the immigration officer is limited by some of these laws. They cannot stop them because it's their right to move across borders. Now, when they come in, what they do and whether we can monitor the time limit they've got to spend in the country, that is another thing. I don't think we've got the infrastructure to enable us do that. And we should also know that there are other factors as well. As Africans, some of us Africans have a mindset that they can live and do anything anywhere they want. And these borders that we live in and claim to be countries are actually created by some European somewhere. There is a little bit of truth in that, but it's not entirely true. Now, these borders cut across communities, it cuts across people who can basically represent either Ghana or Togo. It cuts across people who can be Ghanaians or they can be Burkinabes. It cuts across people who can be Ivorians or Ghanaians. Now, here is where the problem is. Because there are so many unapproved routes within the confines of Ghana's borders, people can come in and go out as they please. Now, if somebody comes from a community like that, how can the immigration officers ensure that they are enforcing the law in such communities? Those within the country, those in the interior who are not, on the borders, they are fine. But those that are the communities along the borders of the country, you can't really know who is a Ghanaian and who is not. Now, this is where data and information comes in. Ghana needs to have a system. Now, the system will evaluate our weaknesses. These things I've spoken about are all weaknesses or risks, and come up with a strategy of dealing with these risks. Until we do that, we're going to have a non-stop influx of other Africans coming into our communities. And I don't know whether our immigration officers can handle that. You remember there was a time that some beggars were taken off our streets, and it was perceived that they were taking them back to their country in Niger. We Nobody can confirm if that really happened, because some of them have been around for a number of years, and during that period, they've had children. These children, would you call them Ghanaians or you call them people from Niger? Their parents are from Niger, but they themselves, what does the law say about them? Are they going to be classified as Ghanaians? You know, those are the risks that we need to be looking into. Now, the other thing that I feel can do us good is not leave border controls in the hands of just our immigration officers. There should be a collaboration between the immigration department issue and the interior department, like our police services and other services, so that they can collaboratively address some of these problems. Otherwise, the challenge is way too much for just the immigration office. One thing that this one will be an informal responsibility that was discovered in a UN report regarding the porous borders of Ghana, was to engage the communities along the borders where the unapproved routes are. Why this is very important and critical is that they see those coming in and going away. If the government or if the government can engage the leaders within these communities to form, I don't know whether we should call it a task force, or there should be uh, there should be some engagement for them to have the authority to say that sorry, you need to go and use the approved routes. You cannot use our community as a gateway in entering our country. There should be some training, some empowerment given to these communities so that they can also act as guards for the nation. Until we do that, I think the workload is way too high for the immigration office. Then the last one I'll bring in is the
All
Ghanaian
right.
identity.
Mhm.
the Ghanaian identity. We need to have, I think, governments upon governments have tried this. I don't know when that is going to happen. We've got Ghana card and some other cards. The whole point I'm trying to say is that we need to have an identity system, a digitized identity system that will be able to identify who is who, so that we know, not just using the numbers to control immigration, but also using the numbers to help the country address, problems like, housing and infrastructure, how the population is growing and what infrastructure needs to be in place for the next, 10 to 20 or 50 years. These are very important points that I feel we need to work on, and we need the right people to do this job.
All right.
And then,
thank you.
Okay.
Mr. Santi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can I come
What do you see or foresee, like, any arising tension between the local communities and immigrants when it comes to integration challenges in the country?
Well, let's begin from here, Mr. Rash. How do you say it? How do I put it? Uncle Ben was talking about this borderless country, or borders that were created. The colonialists. Sorry. Somebody just called. The borders that were created by the colonialists. People are of the view that Africa, there were no borders, and it is these Europeans who come in to demarcate us and all that. That assumption is wrong, or that theory is wrong. Before the Europeans came, the tribes, the various tribes that we had in Africa, they had their land, and they were fighting among themselves, conquering here, conquering there. The Zulus, for example, they live on their land. The Xhosas in South Africa, they live on their land. The Ashantis, they live on their land. Even the Yorubas and the other tribes, the Hausas, the Fulanis, or the Tuaregs, they also live on their land. And so the Europeans came and they demarcated or formed the new that we have now. But to make a general assumption that Africa was borderless and everybody could go and live wherever he or she wants to live, that theory is wrong. And I want to state here that to say that is actually categorically wrong for people to assume that. The tribes, the various tribes, they lived on their land until the white man came. Now, coming back to your question, there's one thing about Africans. I'm an African, and I know because I live here in Europe. I've been here for some decades now. Africans, wherever they go, they don't want to integrate into the system. This is a fact. Ghanaians, when they travel outside, they want to be Ghanaians wherever they are. Nigerians, when they go, they want to be Nigerians wherever they are. And now you see we have hordes of people coming from various countries in Africa coming to Ghana without actually controlling them. And these people who are coming in, they are not prepared to even integrate in our society. And so if such a thing does not, if we do not control the system, or we do not come out with a system that will cut down the influx of people who are coming in, day out, a time will come where we will have pockets of Fulanis here, we will have pockets of Yoruba people here, we will have pockets of, how do you call it, Hausa or those people from Burkina. So they are going to form countries within a country. And this does not augur well for our nation. The social cohesion of our country is undermined. I think you understand what I'm trying to, the point I'm trying to drive at. When you have a group of people who are not ready to integrate into the system, like let's take the Indians, for example, in UK. Most of them, they call themselves British Indians. Uncle Ben can, because he lives there, they call themselves British Indians and all. And even with how do you call it, with the system that they have in Europe here, they are still battling with this sort of integration. And so why should Ghana, with these mega resources and no advanced system in place, try to take on so many people coming from every corner of the world in Ghana? It does not augur well for the country and even the security of our nation. It does not augur well for our country. And then when we come to the resources, for example, Ghana, our resources is so small that the question is, are we going to use our mega resources in trying to create an identification program for everybody who comes in, or going to use our mega resources to build prisons for criminals who will be arrested in Ghana? How much do we have for other things, for the infrastructure, for education, for how do you call it, health system? This is a problem that the way we are running the country, everything is going to come to a halt, and it's the ordinary Ghanaian who is going to suffer for that. So the leaders should actually do something about it. Now look at this. I don't know whether it's in Ghana that they were arrested. What are they doing there? With computer in front of them, what are they doing? As if they work in a call center. They are at a call center where people will call in and they will have to answer. What are they doing? These young people here, what are they doing? It's scamming that they are doing. You say, so tomorrow they will grow up with no trade, nothing, no education, no profession, and they will become a problem to the society. I don't know.
All right, thank you very much. Yeah, Mr. Ben.
Yeah.
Well, what are some of the tensions you foresee when it comes to the local communities and the immigrants, as to when it comes to integration, in the country?
Okay, so I think our brother has already said a lot about how some mostly Africans like to live in isolation, but it's more importantly, there are some Africans who like to impose their culture on others. Now, this can happen consciously or unconsciously. Unconsciously, when the numbers itself overwhelms the local population, that will naturally force the local population to adopt the the larger or the more dominant culture. Now, where the cultures, let me just take Ghana. One of the dominant cultures is the Ashanti. Now, can you imagine the Ashanti being overwhelmed by the Igbos? These are very, very strong, culturally um, sensitive people. If you bring them together, you are basically creating conflict.
Mm-hmm.
In the olden days, we had cultures coming together to trade. And after trading, everyone goes away to their various homes. So the only time you see them coming together, if it's not for conflicts like war, it's for a purpose that is to either trade or solve a problem that is common to both of them. Now, if in our day we have gone and we are allowing other cultures to come in now, cultures that are can easily adopt our culture are our neighboring countries like Togo, Burkina Faso, and Ivory Coast. People from Ivory Coast can come uh, into our western part of Ghana and go. That that integration is natural because already the border cuts across some tribes that you find them in Ghana and in Ivory Coast. It's the same for Togo as well. That the culture there is very much aligned with the culture in Ghana, and people do cross over every now and then, and the relationship is quite a harmonic one. The same with people in the north that crosses to Burkina and back and forth. Now, I'm not saying this is great. There should be control, but with regards to integration, there isn't that much of a problem. But when you get people coming all the way from Chad, to Ghana, now these guys coming with their norms, their traditions and norms. In some part of the world, in their part, maybe begging is normal to them. But in Ghana, begging is actually against the law. So if somebody comes stand at the corner of a street and start begging, a Ghanaian can just approach that person and say, "This is not acceptable. You can't do that." And to him, he's coming with his culture, and to him, it's fine to do that. And that is where the conflict will start. Now we've already started seeing them. It's not These are not being picked out of the blue. We've got some traders in some markets claiming that some people are taking over the market and they are not going according to the market rules and all that. And that conflict actually led to a huge loss. Uh, s- I don't know whether there were loss of life, but there were quite considerable amounts of loss in perishable goods. Um, these conflicts arise because of cultural differences. In Ghana, uh, one thing that we I think other people need to understand about how we trade is that the way you appear to someone determines how much a product should be sold to you. That did not come out of the blue. It's an evolution. In the past, in an ancient past, when a Ghanaian you know plow a field and grow some food, you are mandated to plant along a junction or along a pathway and leave those crops for strangers so that when strangers are passing and they feel hungry, they are free to take from your farm. And you have to let them do so because that's the whole point of having those plants along the path. Over time, this has evolved into our markets. So when you dress with tie and suit and you go to a market to buy tomatoes, the tomato seller will sell that tomato to you at maybe 5 times the price. But if you send somebody who is dressed in what we call chaluate and shorts to this same tomato seller, the seller will sell it to that person for probably 50% the normal price. It doesn't mean that the market women don't know how to sell or they're overpricing or killing them. That's how the culture is. Now somebody comes in and say, Okay, so if people can sell this at this price, then I can actually um, beat them. So they find loopholes within the market culture, and they feed in that loophole. Now, this is going to create conflict, and that's exactly what happened, where people were asked not to offload their goods because they tried to downplay the market cultural norm, and that is not integration. That is imposing your culture, because in their culture, it's about competition. It's about I can take it all. Let me take it all. Whatever you can
Mm-hmm.
do to take it all, you do, and you take it all. Whereas here, it's about sharing the what is it called, the fruits or the profits that comes from that trade. So they have people regulating that, making sure that people with so much money don't get everything. People with less money can
Mm-hmm.
also get something from that same market. These guy comes in and they don't care about any of that. It's about I'm taking it and I'm taking it by force. So obviously there will be conflict. And
Mm-hmm.
this is where policy and laws need to come in, where there is a law that says that in the informal sector, somebody from outside cannot just come and mount a shop on the corner of the street and start trading. We need to enforce these laws because they are there to protect our culture as well. In some cultures,
No.
recently we saw a culture where women were raped on the street, that everybody was condemning, but to them it's normal. That's what they practice. So
Mm-hmm.
if you bring somebody like that into your society, you're pretty much bringing trouble.
Okay.
Yeah.
Before we sign out, so in conclusion, like, what do you have to Ghanaian listening? When it comes to some of these issues, like your signing out comments.
Okay, I'll start by saying that we watched the first video. We saw the problems in our communities. We saw the frustration of the natives. The government, those responsible for whether it's regional integration, whether it's international affairs, or interior ministry, they should really listen to the concerns of Ghanaians, because they shouldn't wait. If they are not responsive, Ghanaians will see them as not being active. And when people's frustration get to a point where their tolerance limit have been exhausted, people will start reacting, and we don't want Ghana to be like that. Um, we've seen it happening in South Africa, for example. We don't want to get to that point. So I think the various ministries responsible for these should start working, and if they need support, they should reach out to institutions that have the expertise to support them with at least knowledge sharing, and get this problem resolved. And that's all for me. Thanks, Raj.
All right, thank you very much. Please, your final remarks.
Another thing is ritual killing. Some people think it's normal, but in other places it's not normal. And so when they come do it in Ghana, it becomes a problem.
Mm-hmm.
To an extent that some people even call prostitution a job. In Ghana, that's not a job.
Mm-hmm.
That's not business. You go, you buy a property, and you convert the property into um, what do you call it? A nude club, where you use nakedness of women to entice young men and collect their money. You think you're doing a business, but you're destroying the society. That's not our normal culture. You parade women on the street wearing pretty much nothing and dancing and jiggling, and that's that strange culture. Unfortunately, our young ones are seeing it and they're going to adopt. That is not the future we want for our kids. So we have to be conscious of the future we want and make sure that every culture we bring in, we intentionally direct that culture to bring moral uprightness. And anything that does not go according to this route should be resisted. And people who do that should be sent back to their country. In the UK, if you beat your child, it's an abuse and you can go to prison for that. Whereas back home in Ghana, if a child misbehaves, we say that you don't spare the rod. Do you get what I mean? So if you go to Rome and you take your own culture there and you don't fit in, you're kicked out, and that's what we should start doing, and
Oh yes.
ensure that our society works for us.
Okay.
But quite recently, there was a guy, I think a Nigerian, who in Italy, he killed a cat and then he was roasting the cat. So this guy was seen by an Italian lady, and the lady was overwhelmed and said, "Look, here in Italy, we don't do that. We don't kill cats. We don't eat cats." And to the guy, it was normal to him. You see, so yes, to the guy, it was normal to him to kill a cat, to roast the cat outside, and he thought he was doing something so good, or that day was a very good day for him. But to the Italian, it was something unheard of. And so you cannot go to somebody's country and try to impose your culture or your way of life on the people. You either integrate into the culture of that country or you leave, you bow out and you go away. And what is going on in Ghana, we are just allowing people to come in and impose their culture or trying to come in and change we, the indigenous people. It's not accepted. It's
It's
unacceptable.
it's
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 unacceptable.
scary. It's very scary.
Yeah.
Now they own the media space. That's what
Hmm.
scares me. They own the media
Yeah.
space. So even the way we talk, the way we they're basically preaching and showing our young ones even how to talk their way. So you meet a Ghanaian, and these days Ghanaians talk like Omo. It's something that I've not heard before when I was growing up. People now saying Omo, Chineke, and all that. I mean, our president was even saying it when that Igbo chief met him. They were saying things like that. It it means that your culture is slowly disappearing. Our music is
All right.
changing. Our everything is changing.
It's very bad. It's very bad.
Yeah. So if you want to
A
be
people, a
intentional,
All
people
right,
without
Mr.
a
Santi.
culture is. Uh-huh. No, I was going to say a people without a
Yeah.
culture
So
is an enslaved.
let me ask
Is
you,
an enslaved people.
in our just 5 minutes, like what are
Mm.
some of the genuine concerns, like the challenges when you see when it comes to the Ghana immigration? Like what are the genuine concerns you kind of like challenges you see them facing that really needs to needs the attention of the presidency that when it comes to you.
Well, from what we have said so far, it's like the immigration services are biting more than they can chew. They are biting more than they can chew. We don't have to overstretch the men who are at our borders in the country, even the police service. We don't have to overstretch them because the resources are minimum. And since we don't have enough resources to employ more immigration officers or police officers, why should we not cut down on the people who are coming in so that we don't overstretch our people, our mega resources, we don't overuse or we don't target them at one place. We need the resources for several areas in the country, not only for our immigration services. Now, I was going to say this. I work with the Red Cross in Germany, and in a department where we deal mostly with homeless people and asylum seekers. So I've been with the asylum, with people who come to Germany to seek asylum, or people who are here and they don't have a place to stay. Now, what the Germans, what they do is that when you come in, they don't just allow you to be on the streets. They take you to a camp where your statement is taken. They take your blood tests and they see that you don't have any communicable disease. If you have any communicable disease, they quarantine you. So they take your fingerprints, they take your picture, and they make a card for you. So you live in that camp, you are monitored. Let's say, if I will use that word, you are monitored. You can go out, but you have to come at a certain period. If you don't come in a day or 2 days time, you lose your everything, and then you are gone. And so whilst you are in the camp, they give you an appointment, you go to tell your story, and if your story is valid, if you need the asylum, if you are genuinely someone who is running away from persecution, then they give you some kind of months to stay in the country whilst things calm down in your country. After some time, they ask you to go back to your country. And so you don't just come here and end up on the streets causing nuisance on the streets. Even Germany, Germany is one of the advanced countries in the world. If I'm not mistaken, it's about the fourth economy in the world, or the fifth economy in the world. And if they cannot do that, they won't allow anybody to come in, or they won't allow people to come in and be walking on the street begging. Why should a small country like Ghana, the size of Switzerland, do that? I don't understand it. Say it. I don't understand it.
Yeah. Okay. Mr. Ben, can you please also chip in your observations as to the challenges you see the Ghana immigration facing genuinely?
Yeah, I mean, the first thing is they're overwhelmed, and this is because we have signed up to regional policies and regimes that doesn't favor us. If Ghana is to I think Ghana should call for a review of this ECOWAS protocol, because we've been in it for a while, and we have noticed the drift of immigration towards Ghana and the socio-cultural impact that is having on the nation. Today,
Mr. Ben.
Oh, can you not hear me? Hello.
He cannot hear you from his end.
Hello?
We cannot hear you.
Okay, all right. I was saying that definitely the immigration office or the department, they are overwhelmed. That's the first thing we know, and the reason is because there is regional free movement of people and goods.
And then your line.
Is it gone?
It seems your network is kind of like very bad.
That's strange. Is it okay now?
No.
Yeah, it's okay. It's okay now.
Okay. Yes, I was saying that definitely the immigration department is overwhelmed because we have signed up to ECOWAS free movement of people and goods, and over time we've observed the impact on our society where we're getting influx of people without any defined purpose. People who are coming in to do whatever they can to survive. Ghana is not, um, it's not a place for survival. It's a place for living, and we want to make it like that. So my first call will be to review the ECOWAS protocol or policies that enable people to just come in as and when they want, so that um, there will be some changes in that policy so that Ghana can filter those coming in to make sure that they are not going to be a burden to the public sector or a menace to the social coherence we have in our nation. Um, that said, the immigration department also needs to be equipped with the right systems to enable them to work. These places where we have unapproved routes, I think if the numbers are not, we don't have the numbers, at least we should have the equipment. We can utilize, drone services. These days we have surveillance drones that can stay in the air for more than 24 hours. So we can invest some money in these gadgets so that we wouldn't need a lot of people manning any border. We need just a few so that they use those equipment to do the survey and send report to the right offices so that actions could be taken for those who are breaching border laws. Um, and other things such as digitization and identification as well, I think will do them a lot of good. And there should also be the capacity building to train border communities within Ghana, so that they can also be part of the work that they're doing. I think these are the things that uh, they can do to improve the service.
Submission. So we sign up. Going on with these, foreigners, immigrants, and the challenges of the immigration and all that. What are your final remarks for Ghanaians? Before we sign out.
Well, finally, what I would say is our government should try to do something about the situation. We cannot go on like this. If the protocol, the ECOWAS protocol they have signed, they have to re-evaluate the whole thing again. If something is not working, I don't see why, as a sovereign country, we should force ourselves into something that does not work for our people. Why do you have to cling on to it? The UK, when they saw that, or when they realized that the EU was not helping, they came out of it. And so why should we put our head or our hands into something that we cannot manage? We are getting overwhelmed by the situation day in, day out. And we don't have enough resources to go around and cater for all these problems we are creating for ourselves. We in Ghana, we have our unique problems that we are struggling to solve. These galamsey problems and our environment being damaged. We have the infrastructure that we have to construct. Even food, we import food. So why should we have to compound the existing problems that we have, that we haven't even finished solving them, with others coming in and bringing in theirs to overwhelm us? We can't do that. So if you can hear me, this is where I will end mine. Thank you.
All
I
right, thank
think
you
it
very
was
much.
clear.
Okay, so yeah, at this juncture, this is where we draw the curtains. We just hope our leaders does the needful by listening to the concerns of the people, and that's what the people want and not what they want. So we'll call it a day for today's segment, and we'll catch you guys in the next one. Until next time, stay safe and peace out. Bye bye, Mr. Santi and Uncle Ben. Catch you guys
Thank
in the
you, Raj.
next one.
Thank you, Raj. All the best. Catch you later.
And
Thank you.
please subscribe if you're watching. Please subscribe to the channel, like, share, and leave your comments. Like I said, So see you in the next one.